Imagine a future where you can predict the fall of empires, the rise of chaos, and even the return of peace, all through math. But what if one unpredictable person was enough to break the whole system? In Foundation Season 3, we hear a single name whispered through time: the Mule. But who is the Mule, and why does he terrify even the smartest minds in the galaxy? Asterisk, in the world of Foundation, the future isn't guided by magic or luck, it's driven by psychohistory. This is a powerful science created by Hari Seldon, a mathematician who figured out how to predict the behavior of large groups of people over long periods of time. Think of it like weather forecasting, but instead of predicting rain, it predicts the rise and fall of entire civilizations. Asterisk, Hari Seldon sees that the Galactic Empire, which has ruled for thousands of years, is about to collapse. But instead of trying to stop the fall, which he believes is impossible, he creates a plan to shorten the chaos that follows. He calls it the Seldon Plan, and it's designed to reduce 30,000 years of darkness and war down to just 1,000 years. That's still a long time, but in the grand scheme of history, it's a huge improvement. Asterisk, to make this plan work, Seldon sets up two groups. The first is called the Foundation, which is made up of scientists, engineers, and thinkers. Their job is to preserve knowledge and rebuild civilization after the empire falls. The second group, which most people don't even know exists at first, is called the Second Foundation. Their job is to stay hidden and guide the First Foundation when things start going off track. Asterisk, so far, so good, right? But here's the catch: the plan only works if human behavior remains predictable. It assumes that people, over time, act in patterns that can be calculated. Wars, revolutions, and even peace can be estimated. That's the beauty of psychohistory. Asterisk, but there's a problem that Hari himself admits. The system breaks down if someone shows up who is truly unique. Not just a genius or a powerful leader, but someone who can't be predicted at all. Someone who can make people act in ways no math can explain. Someone who throws a wrench into the machine. Asterisk, that someone is the Mule. Asterisk, in the books, the Mule is one of the most feared characters ever created by Isaac Asimov, the author of the Foundation series. He's not just a villain, he's a total disruption. A person so different, so powerful, that even Seldon's plan, which has been working for centuries, can't stop him. And now, in Season 3 of the show, we're finally getting hints that the Mule is about to enter the story. Asterisk, but before we dive into who the Mule really is and what he can do, it's important to understand the world he's about to break. Because the more you understand the system, the more terrifying it becomes to realize just how badly one person can ruin everything. Asterisk, so in this video, we're going to break it all down, from the world of psychohistory to the secrets of the Second Foundation, and finally to the mystery of the Mule. If you've been wondering why so many fans are buzzing about that single name in Season 3, stick around. The truth is stranger and more dangerous than you might think. Asterisk, in Season 3 of Foundation, something strange starts to happen. The show, which usually follows a logical path through history, suddenly gives us glimpses of the unexpected. There are visions, warnings, and whispers of a future that doesn't follow the plan. One name keeps showing up: the Mule. It's brief, almost hidden. But to fans who know the books, it's a big deal. A very big deal. Asterisk, so what do we actually know about the Mule in the show so far? Asterisk, let's start with Gaal Dornick. She's one of the main characters who has started to experience strange visions, glimpses of the future, or maybe warnings from it. In one of these visions, we see a massive threat rising. Planets burning, lives destroyed, a shadow growing across the galaxy. In the middle of this chaos, she hears a name: the Mule. It's spoken with fear. It's not explained, but it's enough to make Gaal deeply afraid, even more afraid than when she first learned about the collapse of the Empire. Asterisk. This is the show's way of hinting that something worse than chaos is coming. Not just random destruction, but a person, a force, who wants to twist the future. A person who can make people obey him, not through power or politics, but through something deeper. Something unnatural. Asterisk, we also get small clues from other characters. In quiet moments, some seem aware that the plan may not be as secure as they thought. There's a growing sense that something or someone could undo everything Hari Seldon worked for. And it doesn't seem like it's coming from a known threat, like the Empire or a rebellion. It's something else entirely. Something smarter. Something unseen. Asterisk, this is where the show becomes really interesting, because it hasn't revealed the Mule yet, not fully. We don't know what he looks like. We don't know what he wants. but the hints are growing stronger. A dark force with an unknown origin. A name from a future that shouldn't exist. A vision that doesn't fit the math. Asterisk, even the tone of the show changes when the mule is mentioned. The music shifts. The colors go colder. The future, which once seemed chaotic but manageable, now feels out of control. You can feel the fear building, not just in the characters, but in the story itself. And that's exactly what the mule represents. Fear of the unknown. Fear that the plan might not be enough. Asterisk, now here's the thing. If you haven't read the books, you might think the mule is just another villain. But if you have read the books, you know he's much more than that. He's the ultimate wild card. A person who breaks the very rules the story is built on. In fact, he's the first real sign that psychohistory might fail. Asterisk, and this is where the theory starts. Because right now, the mule hasn't stepped onto the stage. But we're already feeling his presence. That means he might already be here. Hidden, waiting, watching. And if that's true, the plan is already in danger. Asterisk, so what could the show be doing? Is it giving us a slow introduction to a major future villain? Or is it pulling from the books in a new way, introducing the mule earlier than expected, or changing who he is entirely? There are clues, if you know where to look. In the next section, we'll look at who the mule really is in the books and why fans are so nervous now that his name has been spoken. Asterisk, because once the mule appears, nothing in Foundation will ever be the same again. Asterisk, to understand why the mule is such a terrifying presence in Foundation, we have to go back, not just in the show's timeline, but to the original books written by Isaac Asimov. In the Foundation novels, the mule appears in Book 2, Foundation and Empire, and he completely changes everything we thought we knew about the story. Asterisk, first of all, let's talk about what the mule is, or more accurately, what he can do. The mule isn't just a military leader or a clever strategist. He's a mutant, born with a very rare power, the ability to control emotions. Not in a symbolic or manipulative way, but literally. The mule can reach into a person's mind and change what they feel. He can make them feel hope, fear, loyalty, sadness, anything he wants. And once he does, they become completely loyal to him, even if they don't understand why. Asterisks, think about how dangerous that is. He doesn't need to build armies through politics or power. He doesn't need money or propaganda. He can just touch a person's feelings and turn enemies into allies, one by one, or even entire groups. And because of this, he builds an empire almost overnight, conquering star systems that were supposed to be safe under Seldon's plan. Asterisk, now, remember, psychohistory, the science Hari Seldon built, doesn't predict individual people. It works by looking at billions of people at once, but it can't handle someone like the mule. He's not just unusual, he's unpredictable. One person with the power to shift the emotions of masses of people throws off the math completely. Hari Seldon warned about this possibility, but even he didn't think it would happen so soon. Asterisk, when the mule rises to power in the books, the Foundation is caught off guard. Everything they believed about being safe, about the plan holding strong, falls apart. Their greatest strength was supposed to be that they followed Seldon's path exactly. But suddenly, there are no more holograms of Hari appearing to explain the next step, because the future, he predicted, no longer exists. Asterisk, worse still, nobody knows who the mule really is. He hides his identity, even from his own followers. People hear his name, or his symbol, a clown's face, strangely enough, but never see the real person. This mystery makes him even more powerful. He becomes a legend as well as a threat. Some think he's a myth. Others think he's a monster, but nobody can stop him. Because nobody knows how to. Asterisk. One of the most powerful parts of the mule's story is how small and unexpected he really is. When his identity is finally revealed in the books, it shocks everyone. He's not a giant warrior, or a genius scientist. He's someone overlooked, someone dismissed. And that's the whole point. The mule changes the galaxy not by being the strongest, but by being the most different. He proves that one person, just one, can change the course of history in a way no science can predict. Asterisk. This is why fans of the books are watching Season 3 of the show so closely. The moment the name Mule is spoken, everything changes. Because if the show follows the books, then psychohistory, the very foundation of the story, is about to be tested like never before. And if the show doesn't follow the books, exactly, then the mystery grows even bigger. Who will the mule be this time? How early will he appear? Will his powers be the same? Or even worse? This is why fans of the books are watching season 3 of the show so closely. The moment the name Mule is spoken, everything changes. Because if the show follows the books, then psychohistory, the very foundation of the story, is about to be tested like never before. And if the show doesn't follow the books exactly, then the mystery grows even bigger. Who will the Mule be this time? How early will he appear? Will his powers be the same? Or even worse? Asterisk, the Mule represents chaos in its purest form, not random destruction, but carefully controlled disruption. He doesn't destroy systems by accident, he bends them to his will. And he doesn't need millions of followers to start with, just a few. The right people, twisted to feel exactly what he needs them to feel. Asterisk, this is why the Mule isn't just a character. He's a threat to the rules of the Foundation universe itself. He breaks the story's logic. He destroys certainty. He shows us that even in a world ruled by math and reason, emotion, unpredictable and wild, still holds the power to undo everything. Asterisk, and now that we've seen his shadow appear in season 3, the big question is no longer who is the Mule. But is it already too late to stop him? Asterisk, now that the show has whispered the Mule's name, fans are doing what they do best, theorizing. Who could the Mule be? Have we already seen him, and just didn't realize it? Could he be someone we've already met? Maybe even someone we trust? Asterisk, let's start with the simplest idea. The Mule is a new character who hasn't appeared yet. That would follow the timeline from the books, where the Mule shows up much later in the series, and his appearance is completely unexpected. He doesn't come from the Empire or from the Foundation. He rises out of nowhere. So, it's possible that the show is just planting seeds now and saving his full reveal for a future season, maybe season 4 or beyond. Asterisk, but what if the show is doing something different? Asterisk, here's where things get interesting. One popular theory is that the Mule is already in the story, hiding behind a false identity. Maybe the show is changing his backstory to make his arrival more shocking. After all, this is a visual medium, and they might want to build suspense in a different way than the books did. Asterisk, some fans think the Mule might be a version of Gaal Dornick from the future. Sounds wild, right? But think about it, Gaal already has strange abilities. She sees the future. She's emotionally sensitive, and she's clearly being set up as someone important, someone who might break the rules of psychohistory herself. Could the Mule be a corrupted version of her, twisted by time or trauma? A warning from her own future self. Asterisk, others believe it could be Salvor Harding Gaal's daughter, who was exposed to the same strange forces and might have inherited powers we haven't fully seen yet. Maybe the show is merging characters or building a completely new twist where the Mule isn't a separate villain but someone we've already come to care about. That would make the emotional conflict much more intense. Asterisk, another theory is that the Mule could be a clone. Part of the Cleon dynasty. We've already seen how unstable the Cleon genetic line is becoming. Brother Day, Brother Dawn, and Brother Dusk are constantly at odds. And Demerzel, the loyal robot advisor, seems to be manipulating everything behind the scenes. Could the Mule be a rogue clone? One that developed differently, maybe mutated over time, gaining powers beyond logic. Asterisks, some even believe Demerzel herself could be involved in creating the Mule, or maybe she is the Mule in disguise, acting through different bodies using her own programming to mimic emotional control. After all, she's already more powerful than anyone truly understands. And she's capable of operating in the shadows, while appearing loyal on the surface. Asterisk, then there's the idea that the show's Mule will be completely different from the book version. But just as dangerous. Maybe his power isn't emotional manipulation in the same way, but some new form of influence, like mass-scale mind control, technology-based persuasion, or psychic domination. The show has already introduced advanced AI cloning, time vaults, and mental visions. The Mule might represent a fusion of these elements, the next step in evolution, or the first sign that humanity is no longer fully in control. Asterisk, what makes all these theories so exciting is that the show hasn't confirmed anything yet. They've only whispered the name, the Mule, and left us with the feeling that something terrible is coming. That's how you build fear. That's how you build mystery. Asterisk, and remember, if the Mule is already manipulating people, we wouldn't even know it. That's his power. He changes what you feel, not what you see. That means the betrayal could come from anyone, a leader, a friend, even a character we thought was the hero. That's what makes him so dangerous. You don't see the Mule coming until it's too late. Asterisk, so where does this leave us? Asterisk, we're standing at the edge of something huge. The Seldon, plan has been carefully guiding events for centuries, or at least, that's what we're told. But with the Mule now in the mix, everything is at risk. The math may no longer work. The path may no longer be clear. And the future may no longer belong to the Foundation. In the end, whether the Mule turns out to be someone we already know, or a terrifying new force, one thing is certain. His arrival will be a turning point. The kind that rewrites the rules. The kind that no one, not even Hari Seldon, could have predicted. Now it's your turn. Who do you think the Mule is? Is he already in the story, hiding in plain sight, or is the worst yet to come? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you're as excited or worried about the Mule as we are, make sure to subscribe, because the next few episodes might just change the galaxy forever.